You're listening to The Bible Guys, a podcast where a couple of friends talk about the Bible in fun and practical ways.
Jeff, I have a question for you.
Oh, good.
Are you competitive?
A little bit.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, are you competitive to the point to where you're angry if you lose, or you just care that it's a competitive thing?
I care very much, and I hate losing. Hate it. Winning
That's not what I expected you to say.
Winning is fun, and everything else is not winning. That's my. You know, I'm famous for that phrase, right?
So
I gave a speech in my first year at Heritage Church over that.
Yeah.
I pulled everybody together because I had a lady say, "Well, at least we lost a game, softball game," and one of the ladies was like, "Well, at least everybody had fun." And I was like, "That's it. This is the last time we're having that," because it was every week and it was a terrible team. I said, "Listen, we're going to turn this around. We're going to become a winning. Heritage Church wins. We are winners."
Yeah.
And so winning is fun, and everything else is not winning. So stop saying at least you had fun. It wasn't fun. We lost.
So
And everybody's
funny.
like, "Oh my goodness!" And it was like for the next 2 weeks, people are like, "Are you doing okay? You okay?
Yeah.
You taking that softball thing a little serious?" I said, "No, that's a loser mentality.
Right,
Oh, at least
right.
you had fun. No,
Yeah.
we lost. That's not fun. There's a lesson. There's a lesson. We learned a lesson, right?
But you have to admit,
Hopefully, we got better.
there is fun while playing the game, whether you win or lose.
No, you lost. It's not fun losing.
Well, couldn't you argue and say the game was fun but losing was terrible?
I could say it was exciting.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
all right, but not fun.
not fun. Winning is fun.
Remember that
Everything
scene?
else is
Remember
not
that scene?
winning.
Remember the Titans? It's not fun, is it? Is it? It's not fun right now, is it? No fun. That's so funny.
Can I tell you a secret?
Yes.
I've never seen Remember the Titans.
No, that's one you need to see.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
There are other ones that I would just say, because you know how it is, right?
Yeah.
If you think a movie is like great, and then somebody says they haven't seen it, you're like, oh, you need to see that, right?
Yeah.
That's like 99% of things. But there are certain movies where you would say, well, whoa, you personally,
Yeah.
would love this
I'd
movie.
have to see that one. Yeah.
And it's honestly, it's so unbelievably good that you need to actually see it.
So I've seen that clip. It's not
Yes.
fun, is it? I've had people send me that
Yeah,
clip knowing that I did that one time. Right. So.
Yeah, but
Okay.
yeah, no, you absolutely need
All right.
to
Well,
see
maybe I'll
Remember
watch it.
the
I'll watch it on
Titans.
an airplane sometime.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Okay.
So, okay.
So why did you ask me if I like to win?
I don't even remember now.
I'm sorry. Did I distract you?
Oh, because it's
Because I
our
remind you of a
segment is-
winner.
No, because
Oh.
our segment is Dad Joke Competition.
Competition.
Yes.
All right.
So it's a competition. She labels it as a competition.
You're right. So we're gonna have to just determine who the winner is when we're done.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just not going to be fun.
So it's somewhat arbitrary.
Yes.
Okay. Are you ready to go?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. I have a joke about chemistry, but I don't think it'll get a reaction.
Yeah,
Oof.
it's pretty rough.
I think I'm down 0-1 there.
Yeah, you're 0-1. That's no fun, is it?
No, it's not.
All right, here we go. Ready? I would love to get paid to sleep. It would be my dream job.
Okay, it's a grinner. It's better than my first joke.
Okay, yeah, well,
Yeah, that's what we should do. They're going head to head.
Okay.
How about that? That's how we can.
I win round one.
Okay, round one is yours.
Which, by the way,
1-0.
it's not about talent. It's about what Desiree writes.
Yeah, I know, but that's okay.
Okay.
I still want to win. I want the best ones.
Okay, all right.
Okay, why was the broom late for the meeting?
Something about
It overswept.
Ooh.
No? I'm going to bet.
Wow.
I'm over.
Okay, here we go.
Oof.
I've been banned from the secret cooking society. I kept spilling the beans. That's rough.
I don't know.
That's
Secret
rough.
Cooking Society.
I overswept. I actually, believe it or not, I'm gonna vote for overswept.
Overswept, really?
Overswept
is more clever.
Yeah, spilling the beans. Nobody even says that
Oof.
anymore.
That's rough, though.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's rough. Okay, so you're saying it's a 1-1?
Yeah,
I'll accept it. I need the point. Okay. I just quit my job at the helium factory. I just refuse to be spoken to in that tone.
Okay, now that's good.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think that's going to win.
Yeah, I think
Let's
that
see.
one's
I
gonna
hope your
win.
number 3 isn't that great.
I like that one. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
All of my childhood punishments have become my adult goals. Eating vegetables, staying home, taking a nap, and going to bed early. That's really funny.
It's a tough one.
It's a tough one. That's actually really
That's
funny.
a tough one. Well, it's more of a.
I like yours better. You know why?
Mine's more
Because-
of a joke.
Yes, yours
Yours is more of an observation.
Yeah, and it's like wildly, bizarrely true.
Well, so the little lawyer in my head.
Yeah.
This is a dad joke competition, not a dad observation competition.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think
2 to 1.
I think I automatically win the joke.
2 to 1.
Okay. Number 4. My dad told me a joke about boxing. I guess I just missed the punchline.
That's pretty predictable.
That's a rough one. Yeah. You saw that one
Hey,
coming.
Okay, so I'm definitely going to win this one.
Oh no.
Okay, you ready for this?
Oh no.
It's so good. It's so good.
I love your laughs. I love when you start laughing
This
before
is
you
so
get to the
good.
joke. Okay.
It's so good. Maybe it's a good just reading it. Maybe it's not good on delivery. I don't know, but here it goes. Ready? Hang on. I got mugged by 6 dwarfs yesterday. Not happy.
Oh no. So not 7, because happy would have been the 7th dwarf.
I got mugged by 6 dwarfs yesterday.
Okay, we're gonna let you win that
Not
one.
happy.
We're giving you that point.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
Well, and for you loving Disney so much.
Oh, well, you know what?
Yeah.
Listen, my daughter loves dad jokes. She laughs really super hard. She actually believes it's like the funniest thing ever, right?
Yeah,
I already know I'm going to tell her this, and she is going to like bend over in laughter.
We should call her right now.
Oh, my goodness.
You should call her right now.
Oh, she's at home. I can call her right now.
Okay, call her.
hang on.
Let's call her and see what happens.
Call Tori.
And then I'll give you my last joke. My last joke while you're calling Tori.
Okay.
It says, I made a pencil with 2 erasers. It was pointless.
Oh, wow.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's but that's going to be the tiebreaker.
Okay. All right.
Is she on the phone?
Hello?
Did I wake you up?
Yes.
Oh, we're sorry.
Oh, we're sorry. Listen,
It's okay.
you've made the podcast. You're literally on our podcast right now. I'm taping you. Is that fine?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. You know why I'm calling you? I'm calling to read something to you. What do you think it is?
To read something to me. I don't know. Is it a quote or a movie or a song lyric?
No, well, song lyric's a good guess because you're a song lyric master. But it is a dad joke that I want you to hear.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, here it goes. Ready?
Yeah.
I got mugged by 6 dwarves yesterday. Not happy.
It's so good.
Okay. That was it.
That's it.
It has to take the top of the list.
Okay. All right, I gotta go. Love you.
Okay, I love you. Bye.
Bye.
That was worth it right there.
It was worth
That was
it.
fantastic.
Wow.
Okay, so I just gave you my number 5. I made a pencil with 2 erasers. It was
Yep.
pointless.
Yep. And then here's my last one. Okay. Ready?
Okay, yep.
My wife and hang on. My wife said I should do lunges to stay in shape. That would be a big step forward. Ooh.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh,
That's
you
a good
liked
one.
it?
That's a better one than pointless.
I guess so.
Yeah, I think you win 3-2.
I think I win 3-2.
3-2, and you got the laughter from your daughter. So yeah, you're the winner. There's a bonus.
Did I not tell you?
That was she died laughing. That was,
Truly loves dad jokes.
see, you just made her day.
Yes.
Good job, Dad.
Yeah. And hey, and she made the podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
That's pretty cool.
That's right.
All right, we need to move on.
Okay.
So let's move on to Proverbs chapter
So I think you just
19.
did your daughter a favor.
Why is that?
Because you just brightened up her day, made her laugh for a minute.
Well, and I woke her up with laughter.
Yeah.
How about that?
And Solomon, talking in chapter 19, he talks about how many people seek favors from the ruler. So, was that rough?
Wow.
Was that rough?
Yeah, that
was a rough one.
But hey, it was appropriately rough.
We got there.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Ready? We're in chapter 19. We're reading little one-liner slogans of wisdom about how to live life from Solomon. And here's what he says in Proverbs 19. Better to be poor and honest than to be dishonest and a fool. Enthusiasm without knowledge is no good. Haste makes mistakes. People ruin their lives by their own foolishness, and then they are angry at the Lord. Ooh, we could just stop there.
Yeah.
Want me to read that one again?
Yeah, do it again.
How about I read that again? One more time.
Yep.
People ruin their lives by their own foolishness and then are angry at the Lord.
I've had those conversations before.
Yeah. Hey, let me read that one more time.
Wow.
People ruin their lives by their own foolishness and then are angry at the Lord. All right, we're going to move on. Wealth makes many friends, quote unquote. Poverty drives them all away. A false witness will not go unpunished, nor will a liar escape. Many seek favors from a ruler. Everyone is the friend of a person who gives gifts. The relatives of the poor despise them. How much more will their friends avoid them? Though the poor plead with them, their friends are gone. To acquire wisdom is to love oneself. People who cherish understanding will prosper. A false witness will not go unpunished, and a liar will be destroyed. He's already said that one before, by the way. Yep. It isn't right for a fool to live in luxury or for a slave to rule over princes. Sensible people control their temper. They earn respect by overlooking wrongs. The king's anger is like a lion's roar, but his favor is like dew on the grass. A foolish child is a calamity to a father. A quarrelsome wife is as annoying as constant dripping.
Wow.
Not going to touch that one at all.
Nope.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
And guess what? You're displaying wisdom beyond your years.
I have no concept of what he means there. Fathers can give their sons an inheritance of houses and wealth, but only the Lord can give an understanding wife. Lazy people sleep soundly, but idleness leaves them hungry. Keep the commandments and keep your life. Despising them leads to death. If you help the poor, you're lending to the Lord, and he will repay you. Discipline your children while there is hope, otherwise you will ruin their lives. Hot-tempered people must pay the penalty. If you rescue them once, you'll have to do it again. Get all the advice and instruction you can so you'll be wise the rest of your life. You can make many plans, but the Lord's purpose will prevail. Loyalty makes a person attractive. It's better to be poor than dishonest. Fear of the Lord leads to life, bringing security and protection from harm. Lazy people take food in their hand but don't even lift it to their mouth. If you punish a mocker, the simple-minded will learn a lesson. If you correct the wise, they will be all the wiser. Children who mistreat their father or chase away their mother are an embarrassment and a public disgrace. If you stop listening to instruction, my child, you will turn your back on knowledge. A corrupt witness makes a mockery of injustice. The mouth of the wicked gulps down evil. Punishment is made for mockers, and the backs of fools are made to be beaten. Wow.
Yeah, wow.
That's that. Hey, we mentioned that in the last chapter too. This seems to be a theme where Solomon says pretty much the only answer for a lot of fools is just a beating.
Right.
And what he's saying is life is always going to be painful for foolish people, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a lot of strong language in this chapter, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and so obviously the one that we made a joke about is a quarrelsome wife is as annoying as a constant dripping. Oof. And you're like, oh, I'm not going to touch that one.
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, that's so...
In fact, I personally had forgotten that was in there until you just reread it.
Yeah, you just shut it out of your mind.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny. And that is obviously a scripture that would speak to a wife who has a tendency to be quarrelsome, right? So we won't let the husband apply that. We'll let the wives recognize that in themselves, if applicable.
That's why I'm trying to tell you I don't even know what it means.
That's right. But then another strong language, obviously, we just read it. The backs of fools are made to be beaten. That is really strong. And what else? What other strong language is in here?
Well, so it's interesting. In King James, verse 25 and verse 29 are somewhat similar. And it says, strike a mocker, and the simple-minded will learn a lesson. If you correct the wise, then everybody will be wiser. And then in verse 29, it says, strike a mocker, the backs of fools are made for being beaten. So it's telling you there that sometimes you have to pull somebody in, and the consequences aren't just for them. It's for the other people around them. The simple people around them will learn, hey, there's consequences to that bad behavior. Mm-hmm. So you've heard before in leadership, always correct in private.
Yes.
Right? And always praise in public. There is some benefit to that. On occasion, you have to punish in public so that everybody understands there's significant consequence to that thing on occasion, right? On occasion. And that's kind of what he's saying there. is if everybody in the room is living this simple-minded thing or heading in that direction, or if this person is influencing everybody else to do a bad thing, well, then it has to be a public thing, right? Consequence to it, so that you turn. So if you punish a mocker, the simple mind will learn a lesson, and then correct wise people, and they'll be all the wiser, right? But on the other side, sometimes he just says that the mocker type person, the person that's just really disrespectful about leadership and all that kind of stuff, then quite honestly, punishment's made for them, right? They're, basically, what he's saying is no real hope. You punish them, they're not going to change.
Yeah. Another verse that jumps out at me is discipline your children while there is hope.
I was going to bring that one up.
Yeah.
I love that.
Otherwise, you'll ruin their lives. So Tori, who we just got off the phone with, I woke her up at 9:30 in the morning. She sleeps in. We're technically filming this on a Wednesday, right?
Right.
And we're filming this, and I know that the listeners are way past Thanksgiving, but we're filming this the day before Thanksgiving.
Right. So she has a day off.
She has a day off because of the holidays. Right. She's a teacher. She just told me a story yesterday about how this child was doing these outrageous things. Outrageous, right? And then they called the parent in because this child was so, bad. And she said the parent stood there, did nothing, and then waited until the child who bossed her around left the room. And then the parent looked at them and said, well, that's her. She just blames everybody else. Okay, let's go, honey. And just left. And my daughter said, why don't parents understand how much of a disservice that they're doing to their children? Right. And she didn't say it that way. She said it in a more frustrating way, right? But she, was still like, she was sort of amazed. Now here she is at 24 years old, and she already knows better. Right. And she's thinking like, come on, you have a job, people. You have a job. And this verse seems to indicate that there's a spot where there's a point of no return. Right.
That's exactly right.
Right. Discipline your child while there still is hope. Right. So there's still hope. It's not too late for that lady to shape up as a parent, regardless of how bad your children may be. Right. But there is definitely a point of no return. And, it's that other Proverbs that says, what does it say? Train a child in the way that he or she should go, and when they're old, they will not depart from it.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah, I think we're going to get to that one pretty soon.
Yeah, probably so.
I think it's amazing that Solomon wrote this, considering his dad was famous for not disciplining his sons. Right? But so I think this could be a testimony of this is what I learned in life.
But there seems to be an indication though that David spent time with Solomon.
David gave Solomon a really great speech, but it seems like the credit for Solomon's raising was his mother, Bathsheba.
That's probably true.
Right. Because all of the sons are always named and then said the son of, like Adonijah is the son of Haggith, right? That's how they would do that. But Solomon is always mentioned the son of Bathsheba, and it would talk about, and he even talks about, as you get later in this book, how wise his mother is, that his mother raised him upright. There's a couple of things, if you remember in the stories there towards Solomon, the end of Solomon's life, that she would intervene on his behalf, and that she was considered a wise woman in the country. Whereas, remember when it mentions Adonijah, it says that David never even raised his voice to him, never corrected him one time. One time, right? So then if you look at the first four sons of David, every one of them should have been in line to be the king. And it was the fifth son of David that becomes king. Right. So Daniel died. We don't understand what happened to Daniel, but you've got Amnon, you have Absalom, then you have Adonijah. All three of them foolish. All three of them tried to pull off a coup.
Yeah, and then David refused to talk to Absalom.
Right. For years.
Yeah.
Right. So there was no feedback on that. Then it seems like, you have this wise young man who's raised by a godly mother, and David late in life steps in and goes, hey, listen, if you're going to be a good king, and he speaks all these declarations to him about it. But I don't know that we see him actively raising Solomon. And so that phrase, discipline your child while there's hope, he can look back at three of his four older brothers and go, my dad didn't ever discipline them. Never. Right. And their lives are ruined, right? Otherwise, you will ruin their lives. That kind of phrase could be kind of a reflection on, I feel like my dad not disciplining, not correcting his children ruined my brother's lives.
Have you ever heard the theory that in Proverbs 31, King Lemuel was King Solomon?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so in Proverbs 31, which of course we may even get there, we'll probably get there,
Yeah,
right?
we're going to read
So this is a little bit of a cross-reference preview, kind of a comment.
Yeah.
But the very first, I thought of the very first sentence in chapter 31, where he says, "An inspired utterance his mother taught him."
Yeah.
Right. And he says, and then all of a sudden he goes down, and the thing that his mother taught him is to warning against the lure of women.
Yeah, alcohol. It's not for kings.
Yeah, and I thought to myself, if that's true, that is King Solomon, then Bathsheba would have learned those kinds of lessons, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And passed it on to Solomon. So interesting. Well, another one could be that sticks out is if you help the poor, you are lending to the Lord, and He will repay you.
Oh, I love that verse.
Isn't that great?
Yep.
Yeah. So, what verse does that remind you of? I already know what you're going to say.
I don't know. I wasn't thinking about it.
When he says, when you've done these things to the least of these, you've done them to me.
Matthew 25.
Yeah. So Jesus says, hey, you visited me while I was in prison. You gave me a cup of water when I was thirsty. You clothed me when I was naked. And then this is an encounter with people in heaven. And then the people in heaven say, wait a minute, when did I do those things? Yeah. And he said, I tell you the truth, that when you've done it to the least of these, you've done it to me.
Yeah.
And so
I love the NLT says, when you did it to the least of these, that was me. You did it to me. Yeah. That's the language of it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Well, you did it to me. That was me. Yeah. Right, is what he's saying.
That was not like me, but to me.
It was to me. Yeah, that was to me. Yep.
And so here it is too. Here it is thousands of years before. If you help the poor, you're lending to the Lord, and He will repay you.
Well, we've both said from stage before. We've both said you can never outgive God. God will never be in debt to you.
Right.
Right. And this is the principle, right? That whenever you give to poor people, whenever you're generous, you're doing it for and to God. You're loaning, it says, you're lending to the Lord, and He will repay you.
So I told the story in front of Stony Creek, the Stony Creek campus on Sunday, and which means that the majority of the people in the Bible guys will have not heard it. But I'll do a quick reference story. When I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was pulling off the freeway, there was a guy on the side of the road with a piece of cardboard, please help us kind of a thing. And so I took a left, and my wife says, turn around and give me all the money in your wallet. And I said, what do you mean? And at the time, it was like the early 90s, I had like $80 in my wallet, which back then I never had $80 in my wallet, right? And she says, no, turn around and give me all the money in your wallet. And so I turned around because she has the gift of giving. This was my point of the story, right? She has the gift of giving, and I don't. And so I turned around, and she goes, give it to me. And I handed her a $20 bill, and she goes, is this all the money in your wallet? And I said, well, technically no, but the $20 is a lot of money. And she says, no, that's not what I said. Give me everything you have in your wallet. And I looked at her and I go, okay, everybody calm down. Everybody just calm down right now. And I was like, Liz, I have $80 in my wallet. She goes, I really feel like this is the right thing. I want to give them all the money. And of course, the question is always, whenever you give somebody on the side of the road, we've all seen the things where, okay, number one, are they scammers? Which I'm a skeptic. Number two, are they going to buy alcohol or bad things? That kind of thing. And I remember my wife saying, like, it's not my responsibility to try to guess how they're going to spend the money. It's my responsibility just to give what I feel like the Lord's telling me to give, right? So regardless of whether they go out and they spend on alcohol, or they're a scammer, that's none of my business. She would say, it's none of my business. My business is I'm going to be generous. And then as soon as I release that money, that's the end of my business. And that mentality is the same thing that what Solomon is saying, right? You're going to lend to the poor. You're going to do it to the Lord. So do I believe, regardless of whether that person was a scammer or not, that Liz would not be rewarded, right?
Right.
She's going to be rewarded, period. Because as far as she knows, she was giving to the poor, right?
Right.
So regardless of whether that person was a scammer or not, or whether they were poor or not, that has nothing to do with how God's going to bless her giving heart.
Yeah, because she's lending to the Lord.
Yeah. That's what I would say, right? And by the way, we gave all of that. And my point of that story was, as I said, I do give. I like to think that I'm a person who gives. It's just that her number one gift is giving.
Yeah. Wow.
Right. And then I said,
that's great.
And I said from the platform, I said, try being married to that.
Well, you can't outgive God.
That's right.
It's not possible.
That's exactly correct.
He will repay you, the Bible says.
That's right. Well, hey, that is our time. So hopefully we will see you next time on the Bible Guys.